My grandmother, Mary Jane, taught me to always talk to strangers. She could light up a room without trying and made friends with every server, cashier, person who crossed her path. I adored her, idolized her, and did everything I could to be just like her by learning all of her little secrets, like not telling anyone when she dropped the Thanksgiving turkey on the floor and served it anyway, or how she had a tattoo above her right knee of the name Brother Willie, but no memory of who that was. Grandma also taught me about glitter. Yes, glitter. Just the word conjures a mixture of emotions, both positive and negative. Unicorns bathe in this stuff. 6-year-olds dream of it. And people can use it as a mask through makeup and clothing. Since its inception, glitter has been a favorite of queens from Cleopatra to RuPaul. But have you ever stopped to think about where it comes from? Why does it exist? And how, in the name of all that is good, can you get it out of the carpet? Glitter has actually been around since the dawn of time. Think back to when cave paintings were all the rage. Cavemen used flakes of mica to add sparkle to their walls. And when Greeks, Romans, and ancient Egyptians wanted to shine, they used ground-up beetles in their makeup. We no longer slather rocks or bugs all over ourselves, thank goodness. And that's because in 1934, Henry Rushman, a machinist from New Jersey, came up with a way of grinding down plastic, manufacturing glitter. His company, Meadowbrook Inventions, is still the world's largest glitter supplier. But why from the Stone Age until now has it remained so popular? It's because people love shiny things, flashy cars, sparkly jewelry. We are attracted to it. And just as we are drawn to those objects, we share a similar fascination with other people. A Harvard study started in the late 1930s followed students throughout their adult lives. The study found that the single most important predictor of successful aging wasn't physical endurance or intelligence. It was having close, personal relationships with others. We have an inherent need to connect, and this helps us to live happier, healthier, longer lives. Each of us is unique in our traits and experiences. And these facets and features that make us who we are causes that magnetic pull we feel towards another person, the same way we're drawn to any object that sparkles and shines. I call the reason for this attraction emotional glitter, the profoundly personal assortment of small, colorful particles that reflect who we are and what we've been through in life. And just like those glimmery bits we sprinkle throughout the world, it makes us sparkle. It is bright and captivating. This is why my grandmother encouraged me to talk to strangers. Sharing our emotional glitter with each other is how we can unite the world. My grandmother was the embodiment of joy. But when I was just 6 years old, she was diagnosed with brain cancer. My grandmother passed away. Her glitter faded and my world shattered. No one knew how to tell her miniature version what had actually happened. So they didn't. I was told that my grandmother, my reason for being, needed to rest. So she went away. That was just it. If I could work on being quiet, then she could rest and come back. So that's what I did. I became an expert of introversion. I stopped connecting with those around me and instead focused inwardly on those shards of grief, cutting off the world little by little. My glitter faded. I numbed the pain I felt by refusing to share it with anyone, and this was not without its drawbacks. We are by nature social beings. We need to feel that we belong, that we are connected to one another. And if those connections help us to live longer lives, the opposite is also true. According to a 2015 Time Health study, loneliness increases mortality risk by 26%. Social pain is as real a sensation for us as physical pain. Rejection and isolation activates the same parts of the brain as physical discomfort. I lived in my solitude. I had to face my own mortality 11 years after my grandmother passed away. I was diagnosed with an intracranial arachnoid cyst. The mass inside of my skull was almost the size of a baseball. As I was being rushed back for surgery, I was reminded of the way that my grandmother had faced her brain cancer with optimism until her very last breath. I had not been living the way she would have wanted. I had cut everyone and everything out of my life, and at that moment, I made a promise to the universe. If I made it through this surgery, I would be the woman that my grandmother would have wanted me to be. Spoiler alert, I made it. It was then that I chose to see the beauty in what had formerly been broken. I gathered up those neglected shards, polished them, and allowed them to shine. I started to smile at strangers, to laugh, to connect. I looked at every interaction as an opportunity to honor a woman who believed that there was nothing but sparkle in the world. That newfound duty to connect led me to the hospitality industry, where I was able to share sparkle with hundreds of people each day. In fact, my boss told everyone that I sneeze glitter. Individuals who stayed because of work, weddings, funerals, every stage of life and emotion brought them through my door. I met them as they were, with an open mind and a warm heart. The woman whose 20-year-old daughter had just been killed in a flash flood half a world away. She needed to book rooms for out-of-town family. The couple from Oklahoma who came because they were adopting a newborn son. Sharing in sorrow and joy, just sharing was enough to connect. One guest jokingly asked for a pillow fort when he checked in. My staff and I laughed at the request, but then that need to connect kicked in. What if we did it? So we did. The entire team came together, emptied the linen closet, and created a fort, complete with cream, soda, and gummy bears. I would love to share with you the rave reviews that we received, that the guest came down overjoyed and touched by the gesture. However, I can't. We never heard from him. Now, someone might say that a downside of connecting is rejection, but it isn't, because I saw a shift in my employees' demeanor and their enthusiasm for their work. They continued to look for ways to connect with our guests and each other. They continued to share their glitter. Because the feeling you get when you share your emotional glitter is uplifting. It is contagious and worth spreading. How can you share your inner sparkle? It's a lot easier than it seems. There are 3 things to keep in mind. Start by leaving a strong first impression. This is tied to eye contact, open body language, and a genuine smile. How you say something is just as important as what you say. Next, focus on asking good questions. What do you do? Doesn't further the relationship nearly as much as, why did you choose your profession? Ask questions that help you to understand what makes the other person tick. And be willing to open up about what you're passionate about. If you're willing to do that, the other person will do the same. And finally, look for the good in others. We are quick to lean towards cynicism, and it is so much easier to find reasons not to like someone than reasons to like them. Shut that cynical voice off. When you expect the best from others, they're likely to deliver it. We can all shine and sparkle like glitter if given the chance. There are events in everyone's lives that leave them feeling shattered. But it is during these dark times where our emotional glitter can shine its brightest. When we share these experiences, it connects us. And these connections can ignite sparks of engagement that illuminate our souls and cast a shimmering legacy onto the world. I challenge each of you. It is time to unite the world by sharing your emotional glitter. And who cares if we get it out of the carpet?